Welcome back to the LaziMILLENNIAL Lounge. I want to introduce you to someone who I had the pleasure of meeting relatively recently, pre-corona, Rudi Wordlaw. Hi, Rudi. Thanks for being on the show.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm so honored and so excited.
Cool. I really like doing these student spotlight episodes because I think it provides a different perspective for the show. So I'm interested to get into some of the things that you've been doing, especially on the content side. So can you start off by telling us, how did you end up in pharmacy school? Like what was the path that led you here?
So like when I was in high school, the only thing I knew about pharmacy was like my local Kroger or my local Publix pharmacy.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time I was in HOSA, and the main thing of HOSA is for you to learn every single like field there is in healthcare. But we really barely touched on stuff other than nursing or being a physician. And so like I was like, oh, medical school sounds fun, but I like, I kind of like pharmacy. I like the drug names and stuff like that. And so like I was kind of pre-pharm when I left high school, but I was like, man, there's just much more that I want. Like, what if I want to be in a hospital? Is there pharmacy in the hospital? Or what if I want to work in a clinic? Is there pharmacy in a clinic? And at the time, I didn't know about clinical. I didn't know about any other specialty.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, I'll just look around, I guess. And so when I got to college, I started out as a bio major with a chem minor, and I hated biology, like with a passion. I hate biology. I don't know what it is. And then I got to my like chem classes, and I was like, boom, boom, boom. I TA'd chem. I tutored OChem through biochem for like 2.5 years. And I was like, this is my thing. And so then, of course, like, sophomore, junior year comes, and you're like, okay, now I have to decide what the heck I'm going to do with the rest of my life. And I kept going back between like pharmacy, and then like I took some time, looked at dentistry, and then I kept going back to like med school and stuff. So it was like this circle. And then I noticed like all my projects I had done in chem classes were related to drugs, or like everything that I used to remember things in chemistry related to drugs. And I was like, this is the side. And so of course I shadowed, and I like reached out to people, and like I had been shadowing doctors, I'd been shadowing PAs and stuff, but I was just like, nothing really gives me like the happiness as like just dealing in being a drug expert, or as if people like to say, the legal drug dealer. And so I was just like always excited about that. And so I took a gap year because I really wanted to be like, what am I doing with my life? And I started just researching and like podcasts. I found like 25 different podcasts to listen to regarding pharmacy and what you can do in pharmacy. And like, I was just like so excited, and I was like, ah, like nothing had ever like made me so excited. And I was like, okay, this is definitely it. And so I got an internship at a hospital, and I scribed in the emergency room, but I met 2 ER pharmacists, and I was like, this is fate, because I had no idea this existed. And I was like, this is like fate. Like everyone was like, by the end of this internship, you're going to want to go to med school. I was like, sure. And then I met them, and I was like, I love you. Like, you are my people. And like, just like, they were like literally like the gods of our emergency room. Like they were amazing. They knew every single thing. Like these random things that would happen. They're like, oh yeah, I've used this for this. And we're just like, what? And I was just like, yep, I'm sold. So I applied, I got in, and now I am a pharmacy school victim. So so that was my route to pharmacy. And now I'm like about to be a P2, or technically I'm a P2 now.
It's refreshing to hear how excited you were and still are about the profession, because as you know, there are a lot of pharmacists out here who are already in the working side of it that are like bitter and just feeling like very stifled and suffocated and all these other negative emotions. So it's really refreshing to talk to someone who is currently in pharmacy school, who has like that positive outlook, who really wanted to go into pharmacy and wasn't like, I guess I'll go to pharmacy school, I don't know what else to do. So yeah, that's really cool. And it comes across in, I feel like, all of your interactions. Like you can just tell how passionate you are about it. So what kinds of things like outside of pharmacy are you passionate about, would you say? Or like maybe related to healthcare, but maybe not directly related to pharmacy?
I am really invested in like managing like my mental health. That's like been a really big thing for me after graduating undergrad, because like we all know grad school is literally like you hit the ground running. Like there's no stopping, there's no pause, there's no time to sulk in your failures. You just gotta be like, okay, next test. And so like I've like taken up a lot of different hobbies that just like invest in my mental health without taking away time. Cause I know a lot of people say that they don't have time, and we honestly, we truly don't have time. So I love running. Like when I get out of class, I can't go straight to studying. I can't. Like I'll go knock out a mile, or even just go for a long walk, enjoy the like fresh air. Obviously I love blogging, which is where my like blog and Instagram came from. And then I love like random YouTube videos, like cooking videos are my life. Like it's so random, and I'm just like, I love cooking, and it's really funny because I don't have the time to cook. So like I cook like twice a week, and like it's really funny though. But I'm really passionate about like just like making myself happy, as well as like, you know, friends and family and my loved ones. I'm very passionate about volunteering. I'm very passionate about my community. It's always been instilled in me since I was young to like volunteer, give back in the community. And then when I got to college and I switched from a bio major to a public health major with a minor in chemistry, I had to do service learning, and that was nothing for me because I was like, oh, let's do it. Like I love volunteering, and you know, I would get 25 times more hours than I needed just because I enjoy immersing myself into my community. And I mean, I still do that now. So
cool. Okay, so you mentioned the blog. Let's talk more about that. At what point did you start? It's called Ruuds in Pharmacy, right?
yes.
Okay, when did you start that, and why? What made you want to create that blog?
It was so random. I won't even lie. I wish I had like the whole like epiphany and was like, I'm going to do this. But I had been following a lot of different, I guess you could say health influencers or like doctor bloggers. And I noticed like a lot of people I followed didn't look like me. Or the people that had these big followings that, you know, were putting out all this information that you needed to know about grad school and stuff. None of them looked like me. And I was like, how am I supposed to know I have a place in this setting or a seat at the table if no one actually looks like me? And I was like, you know what, let's do it then. And also there's not many of us like pharmacy bloggers and like podcasters and stuff like that. So I was just like, where are we? Like, I think like when I started following you, I think you've probably been like the 5th African-American pharmacist that I had followed and I've had my blog for about almost a year and a half now. And so I just didn't find many people that looked like me, or even just students, like current students too. Right. So I wanted to like see what people were currently doing. And a lot of people I followed were 4th years. And I was like, crap, you're about to graduate, you know, you're leaving. And so I was like, I kind of want to document this, like see how I've grown, see what I'm interested in and what I grow to be interested in, stuff like that. And then also, of course, the little chocolate boys and girls that look like me that are coming up behind me. I was like, I want them to see like that they have a place at the table. So I was like, let's do it. And I literally created my blog, my website, and my Instagram page in a matter of a day. Like I was like, let's do this right now. Like,
so when you created all 3 of those things, did you immediately start posting everywhere? Like were you doing the blog, the Instagram, and did the YouTube channel come at the same time? Or like how I guess, in what order did all of that happen?
I'd say Instagram was definitely first because Instagram's a lot easier. You know, I was able to like put out like, you know, my first picture, like, hi, this is what my page is about and what I intend to do with it. And then I created my website, and then I finally started actually doing a few posts, like preliminary posts, because at the time I had gotten into pharmacy school, but I think I was 3 months out from starting. So it was more of like what I did during my gap year and what I like finding internships and why I created my blog. And then my YouTube channel, actually, I didn't intend on creating one, but one of the series I did on my blog was about letters of recommendation. And I wasn't comfortable with like posting my letter, my request letter for letters of recommendation, or even my personal statement, because I was like, that just leaves room for people to copy and paste it, plagiarize it. So I was like, I'll just make a video. And then I really enjoyed editing the videos. And then I got like lost in the loophole of like day in my life videos. And I was like, this seems so much fun. And then there goes my YouTube channel. And I was like, crap, oh, what did I do now? But it's actually been really, really fun though. Like, cause like having the 3 different platforms allows for a lot more information to be given out, if that makes sense. Like some people are literally just interested in, what are you doing 8 hours in class? And like,
Yeah.
this is what I'm doing. You can see it. Meanwhile, some people are like, so what do you do in your internship? And I can write about it and like give you links to other internships. And then some people just want to see like, what are you wearing under your white coat? And you can do that on your Instagram. So
yeah, that's a good point, because there are like different social media platforms are suited to different types of information, different types of content. Like one of my favorite things that you do a little bit on your Instagram and your YouTube channel is how you demonstrate like your note-taking process. And I think I probably like that because you remind me so much of myself in like your detailed and very like strategic note-taking process. Like that's exactly, like I have my pen, my calendar is color-coded. Like that's exactly how I was during pharmacy school. So I'm like, that's the only way I can take this information in. And I think that's so helpful to people who like can't necessarily think of how to do it effectively for themselves, but can look at you and be like, oh yeah, that's what I need to do, and get some kind of insight and guidance on that. So that's like my favorite thing that I see you publish on your different platforms.
Everyone says the same thing. They're like, I want to make charts. And then I look at your chart and I'm like, that's what I want. And I'm like, you know, I was like, literally the only way I can understand things if it has a minimum of 4 colors, a minimum of 3 columns. Like I was like, I can't do the words. My brain literally is just like, like I need charts, I need pictures, like, oh.
What other kind of content about your in pharmacy school experience do you share? Like I know you mentioned before you started pharmacy school talking about letters of recommendation and things like that. And we mentioned how now you kind of talk about note taking, you know, what you might wear, things of that nature. But what are some other examples of content that you share like on your Instagram or your YouTube channel?
Let's see. Every now and then I do like to go kind of like take a detour and talk about like just like enjoying myself. I know a lot of times everything is school, work, but like I posted about just like enjoying your weekend, you know. Yes, we have exams all the time, but sometimes you get tired and sometimes you literally just want to lay in bed. And so I talk about self-care a lot. I talk about just like going outside of school to do things, like conferences that are not necessarily something that your school pushes, but like, hey, if you're interested in something, go to a conference, you know, things like that. Traveling, like spring break, I didn't necessarily want to like travel across the globe, but I was like, I want to go to a cabin by myself and not talk to anyone. And so like I posted about how like my boyfriend and I, we just rented a cabin in Asheville, which is not far from Atlanta. And we just enjoyed ourselves, like went to the breweries and the wineries, and we just like chilled. And so like I talk a lot about that as well, because like I think a lot of people hold health influencers or like doctor blockers to a very, very high pedestal. And I'm like, nope, we've got mental health issues just like you. We get tired just like you. So we just want to like sleep all day just like you. So I try to be as real as possible. And I do like always put on a disclaimer that like, this is what works for me, may not work for you. Like this is just what happens to be what I'm doing. I also talk about thrifting because I like love finding like sales. Oh my God. Like, which is big in grad school. Cause like,
I was about to say, and I'm sure a lot of other students appreciate that, because living off of loan money,
or that internship money for them summer that gets you stuff. I'm like, hold on, where are you going? Like, yeah, no, I whenever people are like, oh my God, your shoes are so cute, I'm like, girl, I got these from $7 from Goodwill. Like I like, and that's my favorite part about posting like what I wear, because I'm like, you can look professional on a $10 budget. So I do want to expand though on like the things I talk about, maybe into like I know a lot of people ask, randomly, people ask me about relationships in grad school. I'm like, that's random, but I'll talk about it. Because and I was like, I never really thought about it, because like I do know friends in my class who started dating, but I mean, I've been with my boyfriend since undergrad. We met in undergrad. So I do want to expand on things like that and support systems. I even talked about technology use in grad school, because right now we're literally in like a tech mecca. Like iPads, detachable laptops that turn into like thingies, and you know. So I even talked about that because obviously you don't want to drop $1,500 on a laptop and it's not exactly what you want. So I did reach out to classmates and I was like, hey, I want your real life like impression on this. Like, you've used it for 2 semesters now. Do you think it's worth it? So I feel like I've talked about stuff outside of pharm school, but
Yeah.
also related to pharm school-ish.
Yeah, there's so much. Like, you think about the small like center of what pharmacy school is, but then when you think about it in the context of your whole life, it's like this is the core of your life right now. So a lot of things are going to be related and relevant, and people want to see that. Like, if they are in your shoes, they kind of want to know, like, what are other people doing? And if they want to be in your shoes, they're kind of like, well, what is this going to be like? So it makes total sense to have that like holistic view and share all of those different types of things. I think that's really cool.
Definitely.
So talk about your Etsy shop too, because you have some like cute little thingies available on your Etsy shop. So talk about how that came about.
Yes. Okay. So cozy and cramming was also super random. Like, when I tell you guys, I'm so impulsive. It's ridiculous. So I like in undergrad, my boyfriend and I, when we study, I only study in like sweatshirts and sweatpants. I can't do the whole go from class to the library in my like nice clothes and study. Like, I will literally fall asleep. It, like, I don't know what it is. I have like school clothes carlepsy, like whatever you like. I don't know what it is, but I have to like literally go home and I change into literally sweatshirts, sweatpants, and slippers, and then I'm like, bet. And so I kept saying these like random nerdy puns to my boyfriend, and he was like, you know, I understand you somewhat, but I feel like other nerds would really understand you more. And I was like, you are correct, sir. And he kept saying, and I was like cracking up to myself. I was like, because I said so. And he was like, okay. And I was like, other nerds would appreciate this. And he was like, okay, we'll put it on a sweatshirt. And I was like, hey. And it like initially was something for me, like to like be punny and for me to wear and be like, ha 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 ha. And then I didn't want to order 500 because, you know, like a lot of places will be like, oh, you want to order something? Order 500. And I was like, no. And so then I found out there's this thing called like drop shipping where like if you want to just order stuff for yourself, you can. And they kept emailing me and it was like, hey, you want to make a passive income, set up an Etsy shop. And Etsy's free. They just take 20 cents off of when you list it. And I was like, sure, as long as I don't have to do anything. And so then I kept making all my random punnies. And I was like, ha, 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 ha. And I would wear them to class. And my friends were like, that's so funny. I was like, thanks. And they're like, where'd you get it from? I was like, don't tell anyone, but I kind of have an Etsy shop. And they're like, what? And so then like all my friends were like ordering. And I was like, oh no, please don't tell anyone. And so it just kind of became like a legit shop versus like myself ordering things only for me. But yeah, I mean, I'm really nerdy at heart. Like, a lot of people think I might be cool, but I'm not. I'm like punny. I'm nerdy. I love little things like that. So like, I get like really excited when I'm thinking of something in class. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta put this on right now. Like, so it was like it became. I don't know. It's like a passion project now. Actually, it's like funny me, and now it's like, wow, other nerds think I'm funny. So
no, I think it's
fun.
really
I love it.
Yeah, I love it. I have a similar sense of humor, so I feel like it's natural for me to like that. But no, I think it's really cute. And now they have like Instagram shop too, so maybe even in the future, like you can put it on there, and then people can like more directly see your stuff.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that.
So, do you feel like your content creation online enriches your own experience as a pharmacy student in any way?
100%.
How so?
Because you know how people, you like when you go work out and you have an accountability partner, and it's like you do better because that person's like, did you get your workout in? Did you run? And it's like having my followers are kind of like my accountability partner. So like when I'm creating a video and it's like I'm going to film myself studying, I typically use my phone. And I'm not on my phone for an hour, 2 hours, because I'm using my phone to record. And that's purposely why I didn't buy a camera in the beginning, because I wanted to like kind of like kill two birds with one stone, film and create content for everyone while actually studying. So it's not like I'm just sitting there playing, Sudoku on my videos. It's like I'm legit studying and I'm not being touched by my phone. Yes, I have a watch and my text messages come across my Mac, but typically I'm like swipe and I keep going what I'm doing. So it really holds me accountable, because it's like, wow, like I haven't touched my phone in 3 hours, or wow, I haven't, I haven't stopped studying at this coffee shop. Like, yes, it's super aesthetic for everyone to see, but it's like, I'm legit doing work. Like I'm going in. And even like you mentioned, my study guide videos, like I'm not creating fake study guides. Like these are like my legit study guides. And so it's like holds me accountable, because I'm like, if there's a week where someone mentioned, oh my God, I love your study guides, and I'm like, oh, I'm actually creating one this week. If I create that entire study guide for that exam, I'm now 3 weeks ahead. So it also holds me accountable and makes things more efficient for me, honestly, because I make my study guides as I'm in class now, and not just to like show everyone, but it's like, it's aesthetically pleasing, but also it's literally how my brain can function. So it's like, yes, it looks great for everyone else, but like this, I'm putting my time in, and it really holds me accountable. I feel like I also spend more time doing school stuff. And then when my weekends come and I have that cute picture at a picnic or something, it's because I've gotten all my work done for the week and I can treat myself. So I would say it definitely has enriched my experience, especially like having opportunities like this to talk with amazing people like you, networking, just different opportunities such as networking. I helped out with a panel a few days ago via like Zoom from someone I met on Instagram. So I think it definitely enriches it, and it definitely like helps reach people that I don't feel like I would have reached before, if that makes sense. Like especially people, like I've met people from California and like Rhode Island, and obviously I live in Georgia, so I definitely wouldn't have met them before. So I think it definitely has enriched my experience.
Yeah, I think that is a really helpful perspective for other people who like might be in a pre-health situation, or they might have just entered health, like a health program, and are feeling like, maybe I want to document my experience, but I'm not sure how to do that in a way that doesn't take away from like the actual thing I'm here to do, like being able to focus on school and whatnot, and understanding that there is a way to incorporate it without like detracting from the real reason you're there, like in a way that actually enriches that experience and helps introduce you to other people and build those connections. Because as we all know, the connections are everything. Like, especially now. As we close out, like, is there anything that you would say to a younger, like, chocolate girl or boy who maybe hasn't seen your page yet or hasn't found other health bloggers in this space, but like to encourage them, or like advice that you would give them if they wanted to be in your shoes as a P2 one day?
I feel like my best advice that I've ever been given was just like keep going. And I know that's simple, but like it can mean so much. Like obviously, if I in high school, if I didn't like think to keep researching pharmacy, I wouldn't be at the position I'm in now. And it's a possibility I wouldn't have been as passionate if I had went to medical school, or I wouldn't have been as happy as I am now. The same thing as like, as one door closes, a window, a door, a doggy door, something opens. And so like when I was considering dentistry, I was gung-ho. Like I was like, this is this, this is this, this is this. And I got so many no's. It was like, oh no, we're not going to write your letter of recommendation. No, you can't do this. And no, this grade wasn't high enough. And I was like, what? And then same thing, same GPA, same scores. When I was like, you know what, pharmacy's it. Like I'm right. Never mind. Then it was like, yes, my blog, yes, this, yes. Like I would have never thought of starting a dentistry blog. Like, and yes, that was only an interest for like a year or so, but it's like, I just felt like, and now I'm like, yep, let's do this podcast. Let's say yes to this. Let's go do this. Let's speak to these high schoolers. So I would say just like keep going, because like you will find that yes. And then from there, you just keep soaring, keep blossoming. And then of course, each one teach one,
Mm-hmm.
like yourself, talking to a young chocolate girl like myself, like in the future, I want to be you and I want to bring up the next person behind me. So just making sure that we're also like not just reaching out to like our friends and stuff, but like,
Mm-hmm.
go to your local high school,
Definitely.
reach out to the local high school, go to the Boys and Girls Club. So like as you continue to like be this awesome person, once you get into med school, once you get into dentistry school, make sure you're looking behind you and showing that there's those little chocolate boys and girls, that they do have a seat at the table and
Mm-hmm.
they have a place in this space. Definitely.
Wonderful. So that was excellent advice. If people want to follow you and keep up with your pharmacy school experience, how can they find you online?
Let's see. You can stalk me on Instagram at Ruuds in the Pharmacy. So RUUDS_INTHEPHARMACY. It's so long. I'm so sorry, guys. But Ruuds in the Pharmacy is my Instagram. And then to make it easier from you, I have like links on my Instagram that you
Mhm.
can just hit and like find my YouTube channel and my blog.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming to the LaziMILLENNIAL Lounge,
Thank
Rudi. I
you.
appreciate it.
No, it was so much fun. I'm so honored. Thank you so much.